Hi there, I'm Joss, founder and CEO of Flexperts, and I'm here to show you today how to make a dynamic menu or filterable category list in Flutterflow. If you like this content, please subscribe to our channel, and if you need help with your app or want to learn more about Flutterflow some coaching sessions, you can check us out at flexperts.dev. I'm joined today here by my cat Freedy, who's apparently trying to stop me making this video, but we'll see how it goes. This wasn't the video I was actually originally going to make today. I was going to make one about for each loops, which is I'm going to do right afterwards. But I was starting to make a menu to be able to navigate all these different demos I'm making for the videos, and I thought maybe it would be interesting to show how you can actually take one of these gorgeous looking Flutterflow templates for filterable category lists, but actually to add the logic to it to make it work the way you would expect it to work. Once I find my mouse under my cap. Okay, so what we've got here, I stopped after I just changed a few colors and some of the names. So this is one of the basic templates in Flutterflow, and this could be used for an e-commerce store, or in my case, I'm going to use it for a menu of demos. And so let's go ahead and let's set this up with the logic that you need to actually make it work. So as always, we're going to go round in circles, and we'll start with kind of the Firebase. So when you're looking at a list like this, what you've got is essentially a list of something for this page. Generally, rule of thumb, it's pretty good to have one thing per page. It's a good rule of thumb, one type of thing. So in this case, we're going to create a collection, and I'm going to call it demos, but again, this could be products, this could be something like that. And we're going to do that. And then you could potentially also have a category called like categories. I use kind of some naming formats like this to make it a little bit more standard. Demo categories, let's say. And so this one, much in the same way as groups, this is actually going to be fixed information. So I'm still going to start with my same old boring 3 fields, just because. And to be honest, I make a joke about it being not important. But if you're actually in a team, it would be potentially useful to know who created different categories and stuff like that. In my case here, I doubt we're going to use this, and so basically here, this is just going to be the name of the category. Oh, actually, let me create my 4th new category. This one is the one that I always create, which is just the document ID. And so the name of the category is there. That's all the one that we care about. And it's going to be a string. Okay, so now we've got our demos, and I can actually be smart. I can copy the setup here. Why don't I do that more often? It's a good point. Let's just duplicate this and call this one demos. Great. So we're going to delete that one. Because you still can't reorganize these, and I'm a little bit OCD. So we'll make that demo ID. Again, this is just going to be the document ID. And then we're going to have the name of the demo. And based on that template, we're going to need, I think let's say, we'll just call it details. That's going to be a subtitle, some extra secondary text we might want to use. And then I think there was an image in the template. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to do category. Now, you can either do this as a single select in the same way we did in the other video with groups. So if each demo is just going to have one category, that makes sense. However, if you want to be a little bit more flexible, you can actually make this a list of categories. Even if you think right now you're only going to have one category, this is kind of helpful for future-proofing your app. By making it an array of categories, you're just giving yourself a little bit more flexibility, and you're not losing anything at that point. Cool. So, so if we go back here, so this, we're going to have be a list of demos. Do they have a list tree in here? They do not. So where's that? Okay, so I'm going to, okay, in that case, what I'm going to do, so in this case, I'm actually going to do my search at the top of the page. So I would be going in here, I would add a backend query, I would query my collections, I'm querying demos. I want to get all of my demos, and I either don't want to filter them, or let's say I can order them by name, because that's going to be most likely. Or maybe I'd want to do most created date, actually this time. Might make more sense. And I'm going to do decreasing, which is the newest first. Timestamps count upwards. A bit counterintuitive there. So, okay. And I'm not applying any filters here. That's because local filtering is going to be much more effective than Firebase filtering. Especially for something like this, where I know I'm not going to have thousands and millions of entries. I don't mind pulling in all the information. And so now, I'm just going to remove this to make this a little bit simpler. Because what's going to happen is that would scroll with that. I've already got it up there, so I don't really need it. So let's go ahead and take this here. And we'll just remove that. And that way, now what I can do is I can just generate on this column. Just a little point here. For columns, you don't want to use columns when you're going to have more than about 20 items in a list. You would want to use a list view. The performance of your app will really suffer otherwise. So, okay, we're going to call this demo item. Actually, it's going to add item, so we're just going to call it demo. So basically, I'm calling this based on what I think each one of these is. It's a collection of demos. Each one of these is a demo. And I'm going to generate this from the demos documents. So this is essentially the alternative. By the way, generating children from variable is the alternative to grabbing it. It's when you're grabbing a lot of stuff from Firebase, and then you want to kind of filter it down. And so what I'm going to do now, if I were to just click confirm, this would generate all, and it's giving me a nice warning that I don't need these, because it's just going to use the first one inside the column to generate. That's going to be the template. So here we go. Boom. Maybe all of these. Great. So now we've got, this is a demo. And so now we can do the really basic hookup here. So you're going to see demos documents. That's the top of the page. Demo item is each demo. And what we want to do here is we want to grab that. Oops. I made a mistake. My image is not an image path. This is actually really interesting. I'd left it as a string. An image path technically is just a string as far as Firebase is concerned. Flutterflow is calling it an image path in order that it can help you only put images where images should go, basically. So this is demo item. Now I'm going to see image path, and I'm going to connect it right there. Why did I call it? Can't talk and do things at the same time. It's not great for someone who's supposed to do demo videos. Image. Third time's the charm. So we're going to hook this up to the image, and that's going to allow us to. It also means, unfortunately, I have to create images for each one. That's okay. And then this, we're going to create the name. We've ended up, I was wrong, we're not going to end up using this details. If we ever wanted to, it's there. We might use it maybe on the next page to show more information about it. So there we go. That's the basic kind of list. Now, we've got a tab bar here. This is going to have 3 categories. So in actuality, we don't want to show all of the items in each place. So let's go ahead for starters and let's copy this over to here and to here. And I've come up with 3 kind of basic categories that I want to do, which is demos about, actions, demos about layout, and then demos about code. I don't know if that's actually going to work out. We'll see. But my structure in Firebase was flexible, so that's kind of okay. So what we're going to do here is this is the column for the layout ones. So what we want to do is go back to here, and I'm going to call this demo layout so that they start to have different names for each of those 3 lists. And so that's the first change I'm going to make. The second change I'm going to make is I've got all of my demos documents. Not all of them are layouts. What I want to do now is filter them, and I want to filter them based by, is it a layout type of demo? So in our demos documents, we have that categories. We had just to go back and show, we made this property called categories, I guess. which was a list of strings. So now we know what our categories are. If I were going to create them as items in here, it would be one for layout, will be one document for layout. But we're not even going to end up using that. We're just going to keep it simple with string values right now. So I'm going to filter this data. How am I going to do that? Well, first, I'm going to filter it. Because remember, we're starting with all the demos documents. So I'm going to filter it. Now, when you're filtering, you have this thing called item in list. That means item in list of what you're filtering. So the original list is the demos documents. You now need to go through each one and see if it's the right one. In this case, if it's a layout. So we're going to go to item in list, and we're going to grab get document properties. And we're going to look at that. Now remember, this was not a single string. This is a list of strings. So we're going to look at that category. And what we're going to do is, does this list contain the item? And in this case, what we want to do is a fixed value. Does it contain the word layout? Now, if you notice, this is a variable. That's a problem. I don't have a variable for categories. I don't have anything else I can link it to. It's already established. If I'd done my actual category of demos, demo categories, I could, but I just want to do a simple string value. How can I do this? You have two options. One is to use combined text. If you use combined text here, I can just simply write layout, not combine it with anything. And there you go. It's now going to filter based on layout. The other option when you run into this issue is to actually use code expression. Don't need to enter any arguments, and just literally just make sure you type the quotation marks and call it layout. Check errors. They both work. In certain circumstances, one works a little bit better than the other, but that is the exact same as doing specific value. So, does the categories array for this particular demo contain the word string value for layout? If it does, this is a Boolean check. This is a true-false check. So we're going through each of the demos documents and we're filtering them based on if each one, which has a field called category, if each one in that list of categories contains the item layout. If it does, true, show it. If it doesn't, false. No further changes, confirm. Confirm. I'm now going to go ahead and just quickly copy that over to here. Filter, paste. And then obviously I'm going to go ahead and this one we want to know, does this list contain, in this instance we're going to do actions. So does the demo document contain actions? And by doing it like an array like this, it means that I can give multiple categories. And now we're going to have, he's going to make me a pain. Okay, fine. It wants me to reconnect them. And also I forgot to change the name. And I might cut this part from the video because it's not that exciting. I'm going to call this demo action. And we're going to, it wants me to start again. Maybe that's good practice. Filter list. Remember, item in list is what you're looking for. Not the demos documents, item in list. Item in list, get document property, category, which is an array. So we're looking if the list contains the item. And this time we'll do it with combined text just for the fun of it. And that's going to be action. Okay, confirm. And you have here a default. This is often quite good to set. It just helps you avoid null errors. And then finally, we're going to do the same thing here. This is demo code. Confirm. And then some of these things you'll see me doing, by the way, are potentially not necessary. Like in terms of when I'm just clicking things like I did just there. And it's just because maybe there used to be a bug in Flutterflow that they've probably fixed by now, but I'm just so used to doing it that way. Category, list contains item. And we'll do it this time with code expression. Again, there's kind of, in this case, no difference between the two. I just want to be able to put, this is the same as doing a specific value. Check errors. Now, because I'm at 15 minutes, I should probably stop. But I'm going to give you one more bonus, which is because there's one more feature on this page, which is here, search bar. How does this search bar work? I'm going to pause and leave a silence here in case I want to cut this video. Okay. So this search bar, how would we integrate this into our app? We've got a search icon button. We've got two of them, which is a little bit weird. I would maybe just take this one away because it's not going to do anything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a live search. My padding is not the same now. A little padding, just a little padding. So when someone types in here, the normal user experience we would expect is that I would be seeing layout demos that matched my search as well. So how can you search through a filtered list like this? Well, the great thing is we've got all of our documents up here. So the easiest way to do this is to go in here into your actions and to set an on change. That means it's going to be running this action every time the text field changes value. So every time the user enters another letter, and you can configure the delay depending on your use case a little bit. So what we want to run here, definitely should cut this part. Why is that? Well, that's a bug. Interesting. If it doesn't work, I give up. I've now got 3 on change actions. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can fix it like that. All I've done is cut and then trying to reset the widget basically. Okay, I think it's working now. So simple search is what I want to do. This is a search not via Firebase but on the device. And what I'm going to be searching here is documents. So I'm actually going to be searching the documents that I've already queried. So I'm doing a local search. So I'm going to select all the demo documents here. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, confirm. And then I want to search them just based on the name, let's say. And the search term is going to be coming from the widget, which is the search bar. Great. And max results, it's good practice. Let's say 25. I'm not going to have 25 demos. But okay, so that simple search is now set. If we open this, it should now not have a gray screen. Great. It's all set up here. So every time the user types in something, and again, you can configure the exact properties of how that works. Here, where you have this on change, you have this update delay. So if you set this to 0 in the way that it tells you not to, this will be after every keystroke. You can also do it to be 1000. This is milliseconds. So 1000 would be, it will run the action, the search action, 1 second after the person stops typing. So I'm just going to do this as 0 for now because I want to be this really nice performance. Great. So we've got our search here. Now, that's going to give us a whole bunch of things called simple search results. It's going to give us demos documents that will return from the search, which is from all of them. However, we need to filter here. We're producing demos documents filtered by our category, but we're not taking into account the search. How can we combine these two? We can combine these two in a few different ways. The easiest way is to do this as a conditional value. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy it, and then I'm going to remove it and call it the same thing again, demo layout. So what do I want to do here? So let's do it this way. So the first method you can use is to do conditional value. So you can set up a condition here and say that single condition widget state search bar. If the text in the search bar is set and not empty, then generate my list from the simple search results. Right? So if the user is typing something in, I want you to show me here simple search results. Otherwise, I want you to show me the thing that we created before, which is actually, no, let's just step back. I just want you to show me, let's say, the demos documents, yeah? I'm going to copy this. So let's remove this filter here. So at this point, where we're at is that if the user has typed something in, it's going to show the search results. Otherwise, it's going to show me all of the demos again, without a filter at this point. Now we're back here. I would have to connect these up again, blah, 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 which I'll do in a second. So, but we now want our filter for our category. Well, great. We can add that now here. So make sure you set the return type. The return type we know in both cases is going to be a document, and it's going to be a demos document, whether it's the simple search results or the demos documents, all of them. But now, and it's a list. But what we want to do is we want to filter the list items. So we want to filter them based on, again, let's refresh our memories. So each item in whatever list this came back with, either or, and we want to filter it by the category. And we want to, the list contains the item. And then again, we've got to use that combined text or code expression to get a fixed specific value, which here is layout. So I'm going to recap that, and then you can set a default value, which is, I'm going to do false here, because. So let's recap that one more time, because I think we're going a little fast. So we've got a search text here. It's running a search action on change. If there's nothing entered in it, obviously no search action, no simple search results. And here we've got generating from the top of the page a list of the all demos documents. What we're doing for each tab is we're now filtering this. First of all, we're filtering it based on, am I showing the search results or am I showing all of the demos documents? That's the first thing. And we're doing that based on a very simple condition of, has the person typed in anything in the search bar? If they have, show me the simple search results. If not, show me the demos documents. And then for that, whatever one of those lists comes back, we've set that it's going to be a list of demos documents. We know that. And now we're going to filter it for if each item, we're going to go through each one of those, either each of the simple search results or each of all of the demo documents. And we're going to filter it out to see, does the category array field contain the word layout? If it does, show it. If it doesn't, false. And there we go. We could now copy this across. I guess I probably will cut this part. Cut this across. So again, previously we weren't taking into account the simple search results. Now we're going to be doing that. And this part, you'll notice, is going to stay the same each time because our filter is down here. And that's why I did it this way, to make it a little bit more efficient. All I now need to change to reset this up is just change this one word, but everything else on that is going to be exactly the same. And then make sure you hit confirm, which I often don't. And then here, finally, on this column, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to replace it with the one that takes into account simple search results. This contains item, text combination, and then code for this one. And what that's going to mean is that when the user searches, they're only going to see code. If they've searched for something and they're on the code tab, they're only going to see the code results from those simple search. The simple search is searching everything, but they're only going to see the ones that are also in the category code because we're filtering it. Somehow this has linked itself up, but I think this one didn't. Oh, it did. It's all fine. So there you go. And that's how you make this page, this beautiful Flutterflow template page, workable. Hope that was helpful. Again, if you enjoyed, please subscribe, like the video, comment, tell me what content you want to see next. And if you ever need help with your Flutterflow app and need an expert, you can check us out at flexperts.dev. See you next time.